What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? I appreciate y'all for continuing to rock with me. We're going to have a little bit of an expedited show today. And that's because, as announced yesterday, I am going to be going to kick it with my friends over on Jason Whitlock's channel. Uh, in a roughly a couple of hours. In a couple of hours. What's going on, friends? How y'all feel today? How y'all doing? I see y'all checking in early. I'm not expecting to see a lot of people checking in early today, that just means it's the perfect time to go ahead and do our little trivia question so that I can go ahead and get it popping. All right. So yesterday I emphasized that I was going to a particular state tomorrow, this week. Jesus, y'all had already started putting it in there. And today, let me say it, and I'm going to go ahead and look up and see where it is that everybody is talking about. And today, I am asking you guys, where is the city of the place that I said that I am going to? So, what city am I going to? I am going to go ahead and pull up the first person that said in the chat. Let me see. What it do, Chip the Great? What it do? All right, Ida. All right, Ida B. Wells. You got it. You are 100% correct. I am going to Richmond, Virginia. Your car, if you can get my girl Ida's information, then I am going to go ahead and get that popping. I see y'all done smartened up. Y'all done got a little wiser today. Y'all done smartened up and got quick with it. Ida, you are the winner of today. So thank you for continuing to rock with us. It's early. Early. We about 2 hours earlier than we would normally live stream. Maybe two and a half. 2 hours, 15 minutes earlier than normal. So we're going to go ahead and get it popping with the show and see what it do. Ida, I got you. I also got to still cash app the person from yesterday because yesterday was super busy. I'm going to go see Pookie in Richmond. I appreciate y'all for checking in. What up, y'all? How do y'all feel? Again, we're going to do a quicker show, a more expedited show. And I see people been hitting me up, sending me text messages, all kind of stuff. Man, I'm just trying to figure out what it do. Mike that dude says Bristol or Lexington. Nope. Bryant Smith says, oh yeah, I gotta go in. I got you, Bryant. I'm literally gonna earmark that for today. Cedric, shout out to you, says for that amazing after hours show last night. Wasn't after hours, it was just a Q show, but it was an amazing show last night. So thank y'all for tapping in. Yo, AD, do you know anyone that can hang a TV? Yeah, I got contractors that work for me. Of course I do. I got my own personal contractors. So I don't necessarily have anybody that I can recommend to you. Um, your feeds need a revamp, Ida. I see you. I don't have anybody that I can recommend to you that specifically hangs TVs. I have carpenters and contractors and people that do whole drywall. So I just tell them to, hey, make sure you put those hang those TVs while you at it, and then we're gonna go ahead and keep it moving. So that is usually how I play it, and I hope that everybody is doing well this morning. All right, so regular show, a little bit more expedited. We probably gonna move a little more quickly than usual, but I have a full show that is prepared for you guys. Make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Again, we are going to be moving over to Jason Whitlock's channel after this live stream so that we can go and have a conversation with those people on a panel, and it should be interesting. Uncut Underground says your haters are clogging up my timeline. What up, Ty? Your haters are clogging up my timeline. Well, then that means that I'm doing my job effectively. Let me tell y'all something about the world of content creation. The goal is not necessarily to be right. This is a lesson, a quick 3-minute lesson for you guys, and then we're going to get into the show. The goal is not necessarily to be right. The goal is to be visible. The goal is to be talked about. The goal is for people to have a visceral reaction to whatever it is that you're saying. Whether they hate you, of course, the ones that's going to be the most against you are the ones that look like you. So you're not going to get haters that look differently than you. You're going to get haters, or you're going to get people that disagree with you, because there's some people that just authentically disagree with you, and there's other people that just hate you, and there's some people that's just looking for a come up, so they waiting for you to respond to them and say, hey, are you talking about me? But I'm a veteran. I'm a decade in the game, and I done made a lot of money in this game. And so I'm going to give y'all a Patreon masterclass on our next live stream on Patreon. But the goal is to be talked about, because the more that they talk about you, the more that you are in the algorithm. And so the Anton Daniels hashtag is trending on all major platforms, including YouTube, X, formerly known as Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. All right. So if you're not being talked about, then that's a bigger problem. That's the problem, is if you're not being talked about. So yeah, man, we going viral in May, and we need them. Just saw another YouTuber call you a grifter and only had 800 views. Okay, I'm cool with that. I don't have no problems with that. So we're going to keep on running up. We're going to keep on running up a bag. And life is good. Life is incredible. Life is good. And everybody is bothered by it. And that means that we're doing our job effectively. All right. So, anyways, again, make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off of life. Tap into the bag chasers. Let's get this money and let them talk about you while you go and figure out where the money is at. That's the goal. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get started with the show. Again, I said that I was going to start the show early. When your car get Ida's information, I'm going to send both of y'all cash apps from yesterday and today. $100 a piece to make sure that people are up early. Tomorrow, what time should we live stream tomorrow? I'm thinking of, because I kind of like this early time. I'm thinking 10 a.m. Eastern, and then adjust for your time zone. 10 a.m. Eastern, and then adjust for your time zone. No, Zeroice. You can't get mad at people that disagree with you. We label them haters, but in reality, they just want attention. They want your, approval. They want to get some visibility. They took their time to make out a video about you. And so whether it's good or bad, you got to appreciate them. I appreciate them. I thank them. Please, I thank you. I appreciate you. Seriously, and this is honest to God. I'm not being petty. I appreciate them. I appreciate anybody that talks negatively, positively, as long as you talk about me and then somehow, some way people go and have a conversation, or they go and look me up, or they go and check out what it is that I did. The only thing I ask is, can you please give a link back to me so people can see what they hate? And then I appreciate it. I have no problems with people whatsoever. All right, tomorrow let's try somewhere between 10 and 10:30. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the show. Again, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. All right, let's get it popping. Some people are still going to be waking up, but that's okay. We're going to get to it. First things first on the list is that I want to have a conversation about what's happening over on the West Coast. And then we're going to go East Coast, and then we're going to go Southern. And then we're going to talk about Trump. He arrived in Saudi Arabia today. We're going to talk about that. Saudi Arabia has allocated about $600 billion that they're looking to invest in the United States of America. The Diddy details. Cassie is set to testify today, so that's going to be interesting. And we're going to get it popping. Some people say you don't sleep. Anton, I don't need, what is that? What are we sleeping for? Huh? What is there to sleep about? First thing that I want to talk about, I don't know if I want to go with that one first. Yeah, let's go with that one. First thing that I want to talk about is this New York official that shot at a door. I hate when they say allegedly. No, we looking at it on camera. And he shot at a DoorDash driver for getting out the car and asking for directions, and this is what happened.
Tonight, newly obtained surveillance video reportedly showing the moment an elected official in upstate New York shot a DoorDash driver outside his home.
I got you, Ida.
The driver, who has not been publicly named, was attempting to deliver food to a house in Chester, New York, police say, when he became lost and unable to navigate using the app. They say he approached several homes asking for directions before arriving at the residence, seen here at a nearby address just before the shooting in a video obtained by News 12.
I have a daughter. My phone is broken. Please can help.
State police say he then...
White on white crime is real. White on white crime is real. That is a certified white boy that is coming up, just trying to deliver his groceries or deliver whatever it is that's coming up. They already don't even make that much money. They already don't make that much money. And now he's coming up to deliver he's trying to find the address. I've seen DoorDash drivers get lost all the time. They may not necessarily be familiar with the area. It may be a new development, or, you know, your place doesn't show on the map the way that it's supposed to. It happens. And this New York official couldn't wait to pull his pistol out in order to try to protect that property.
I have a daughter. My phone is broken. Please can help.
State police say he then went to the home
that ain't
of
no
New York.
Boy. It sounds like an immigrant.
Nearby address just before the shooting in a video obtained by News 12.
I have a daughter. My phone is broken. Please can help.
State police say he then went to the home of New York Highway Superintendent John Riley, who is also a federally licensed firearms dealer. Another video obtained by News 12 reportedly showing the 48-year-old walking out of his house. The video appears to show Riley initially shooting into the side of his yard, yelling at the driver to leave as the DoorDash driver turned on his ignition.
Go!
And then he shot at the car.
Go!
I can tell you about
Moments later, firing toward the vehicle after the driver starts to reverse. Shooting once more as the victim drove off. Police say one of the bullets struck the driver in the back, causing serious physical injuries. Riley tonight out on bail, but facing felony assault and criminal weapon possession charges, according to state police.
Just shock, disbelief, disgust. I just can't believe that took place.
Chestertown supervisor says the town board is holding a special meeting Tuesday morning to consider calling for Riley's resignation.
What are they considering? What is there to consider? I'm trying to understand what is there to consider. No, he should absolutely be fired. Why is it so difficult to get rid of officials that are obviously doing the wrong thing? And he's a licensed firearm instructor or licensed firearm dealer or something like that. What did they just say? Hold on, let me rewind this really quickly because I need to know all of the details.
Criminal weapon possession.
Go! Go!
Moments later, firing toward the vehicle after the driver starts to reverse. shooting once more as the victim drove off.
Any accurate.
Police say one of the bullets struck the driver in the back, causing serious physical injuries. Riley tonight out on bail, but facing felony assault and criminal weapon possession charges, according to state police.
Just shock, disbelief, disgust. I just can't believe that took place.
Chester Town Supervisor says the town board is holding a special meeting Tuesday morning to consider calling for Riley's resignation.
We can't fire him. We can't unappoint him. We can't put him on leave of any type. He's elected.
Riley did not return our request for comment. A DoorDash spokesperson saying, quote, "No one should ever fear for their safety just for trying to make deliveries in their neighborhood.
Facts.
We're devastated by the senseless act of violence and we're wishing the Dasher a full and speedy recovery."
This situation isn't representative of the town of Chester. We are good people. This is a complete outlier.
No,
in terms of,
Nope. He's an official that works for the town, and until you fire him, it is certainly a representation of the town. We gonna keep the same energy across the board. When I see people that do things for the culture, or when I do see people do things over in Chicago, when they say, "Oh no, this is not a representation of that," yes, it is. Yes, it is. When I seen Tiffany Henyard doing things over there in Dalton until she got unelected and removed, it is an absolute representation of the town, because the town is the people that put her in office in the first place. And so until he's fired and until y'all rewrite the contracts of these people that ultimately get put in these positions, you can't say that it's not a representation of the town. It is a representation of the town. It's 100% a representation of the town. As long as he's getting paychecks, as long as he's a representation of who you are, it is a representation of the town. When you get hired in corporate America, okay? When you get hired in corporate America, the reason why they go so hard on an executive search, they they go through and they look at everything. They go through and they research your social media. They want to know it don't even matter if you've already been hired into the company. Let's say you've been hired into the company and you've been working your way up through the ranks, and then you get to a certain level. Guess what? They go and research everything. They want to research your degree. They want to research. It's almost like you a brand new employee coming into the company. You know why? Because once you get to a certain level, you are the mouthpiece. You are a representation of the company, because they are the ones that are paying you, and you are the ones that are inspiring employees, and you also a face of the company. And that's why I said a lot of times, listen, I'm not interested in going past a certain place, because I know that my social media or what it is that people feel about me online could spill into what I did professionally. And so I just stayed low key, chilled until I eventually decided that it was up. And now I can say what I want to say when I want to say it. But yes, it is a representation of the town. And yes, the DoorDash driver should sue. Should sue the pants off and take this man's house. I want the DoorDash driver to get his house. I want him to get his car. I want him to get his pension. I want him to get everything, because you need to pay for the pain and suffering that you cause this young man. And it is a representation of the town until y'all get rid of him. On the flip note, though, over in Compton, I thought that this was a pretty interesting story that we need to share. We need to see more crime that's happening in the other communities too. It's not just in black culture and the black communities. It's 100% happening. And I bet y'all didn't know that in Compton, there's people that didn't look like you that was also committing crimes. Check it out.
Beatrice Martinez spent Mother's Day at the graveyard for her murdered 12-year-old son. And then she came here to the park where he was killed to celebrate Rodrigo's short life. 12-year-old Rodrigo Martinez murdered in his own backyard. Around the park picnic table riddled with bullets. Family and friends pray, share memories and photos. His little sister, 9-year-old Lexi, lights a candle in his honor.
He was a really good brother. I love him so much. He was funny. He would always joke around with me. And yeah.
Playing soccer.
He meant so much to me.
Rodrigo lived part of the time with his dad, who shares a fence with Fig Oleander Park in Compton. The Davis Middle School soccer player grew up playing with the neighborhood kids at this park on Orris Street, and it's where he took his last breath. On Friday at 4 p.m., witnesses watched a man wearing all black and a black ski mask shoot and kill the kid and then run off.
He had been shot in his stomach, I believe, and He said it was right after school. His dad said it was 5 minutes, and he heard the shots, and he came running.
On Mother's Day morning, homicide investigators arrested a 17-year-old based on evidence collected at the park. His mom says he was raised right, steered clear of riffraff, and can't fathom how or why this happened to her little boy.
He actually got to give me my Mother's Day gift early, and God only knows why he does what he does. I'm going to advocate for our community because there's a lot of things that need to change. You know, it's not okay for things like this to happen right outside of your home at a park where kids are supposed to be playing. So I just miss, you know, kids being kids again. And I really always encourage that on my son.
The park does have a surveillance camera, but it's unclear if that aided in the arrest of the 17-year-old booked on murder and transported to juvenile detention.
So y'all need to tell me how these people are just kids. No. What? 17, 18 years old? Hey, no. They're just children. They're harmless. They're just kids. Nothing happened. It's not a big deal. They're just kids. A 17-year-old pulled up in a ski mask and killed a 12-year-old in Compton. That should tell you that we need to change things that's happening inside of our cities because it's not safe out here for your kids to even play in the front yard. Just got home from school, a 12-year-old playing in their front yard, and then they get killed by a 17-year-old that's wearing a ski mask. It's sad. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and read some of the super chats, and then we're going to go ahead and move over to the next part of the show. It's very, very sad. Very, very sad of what's happening out in these streets. Tawaya says 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. Eastern. 8:30 Eastern is the time that we got started today. All right, it was 8:30 Eastern that we got started today, but tomorrow I'm thinking more or less 10. Move it up about a half hour, 45 minutes or so. Let's go 10. That way we got a little bit more time to cook, and once y'all get settled at work, we can start getting it popping. El Calvo says, you're a vet. I was baiting with my question. Number one. Oh, said I'm a vet because he was baiting me with your question. What, you thought I was going to go crazy? No, I only go crazy on the people that care about me. So I only go back and forth and I yell back and forth with people on panels or people that's in the chat. I don't go crazy on strangers that I don't know that's looking for clout on the internet. I'm just thankful that they are making videos because it boosts me in the algorithm. Christopher Mayberry says, quick questions. What is something that you're looking forward to speaking on during the Jason Whitlock live, or is it just the opportunity to get the visibility that really matters? No, Jason Whitlock, a lot of people don't know this, but a couple years ago or for a while, me and Jason Whitlock have been rocking with each other. We've been saying that we was going to do something more official because he came up on the platform of the Millionaire Morning Show a while ago, and we talked about some things, and we have a lot of things that we agree on, some things that we disagree on, very few things that we disagree on. And so we're going to extend the conversation about this whole black fatigue thing. So I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who else is going to be on the panel with us. So it should be me and some other people. I'm not sure who, but we'll have the conversation and then we'll go from there. But yeah, we have been talking about continuing to do great things for a long time. AC Reviews the World says, what up, AD? When is the next content creation Patreon video? This weekend? Actually, I might do it Thursday. So it's this week. We're going to do it this week in the Patreon. Ida, shout out to Ida that won that $100 today for being on time and getting it off. I'm going to be in Richmond this week, all right? So shout out to the people in Richmond. Paul Johnson says, I was in Target the other day and some kids were stealing. They had ski masks on. An older guy was trying to stop them and they crashed out. The other adults started getting mad at the man. Why did they get mad at the man? We live in a very demonic world nowadays, y'all. Again, we're living in a very, very demonic world where the criminal is now the person that is justified in doing the things that they do. Again, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel with turn on notifications. Let's go ahead and get into the next segment of the show. So, Dallas, I want to talk about Dallas really quick, and I'm going to spend 10 minutes here, and then we're going to go over to Trump over in Saudi Arabia. Apparently, it was a woman that killed innocent people in a street race. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. This is what happened over in Dallas. It's very unfortunate. Well, I guess the first question that we got to ask ourselves is, why are you racing a Ford Fusion? Why? What are you doing? Why are you racing a Ford Fusion? Have y'all ever been on the freeway? And I know a lot of us have experiences. Have y'all ever been on the freeway and you see two cars going fast, or you see two motorcycles going fast? Most of the time it's a Hellcat, or, it's a racer. A lot of people don't know what a racer is. A racer is like, the Honda Civics, the Preludes, the a lot of people will see a 350Z, old 350Z, something like that, for a banger in there with a huge tailpipe and an exhaust, and they keep going, and then they got two turbochargers in there, and then they went and got something from Harold's with NOS stickers everywhere. Whenever you see these type of people racing on the freeway or whatever, don't change lanes. Don't do none of that stuff unless they get behind you and they start revving real hard and you're in the fast lane. Just stay where you are, because the minute that you move over or the minute that you move, you could absolutely, because they ain't got no control. But the thing that I'm always confused about, not concerned about, but confused about, is when I see the hanger-oners, right? And the hanger-oners are the people that see them. They are not in a car that's even sufficient enough to keep up with them, but they want to join in on the race. And it's usually a regular car, a Ford Explorer Fusion, a Toyota Camry somewhere, It may even be a Dodge Charger XXT instead of a Hellcat or even a Scat Pack. It's the V6 one. V6 Mustang looking to get in on the action. 267 horsepower. Automatic 6-speed. Automatic transmission. No paddle shifters. I never understood why these people decided that they want to go in and get in on the action also. What is she doing racing a Fusion? A woman at that. Now, y'all know that women can't drive as good as men. And I'm going to say it. I know that they're going to tell you, hey, no, the statistics is telling us otherwise. No, the eye test. Have you ever gotten in a car with a woman? I don't just drive. And let me be clear. It's not that the women can't drive that's around me, but I don't just drive just because I'm a man. I also drive because anytime I get into the car or I pull up and I get into a woman's car, her seat is all the way right here on the steering wheel. Girl, you 6 foot. What you doing all that stuff? I can't see unless I'm all the way up in the steering wheel. What do you mean you can't see because you all the way up on the steering wheel? Regularly, you see women all the way up on the steering wheel like this. They turn into grannies, old ladies. The steering wheel is right here at their chest. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you so close to the steering wheel? And so for me, I personally say, you know what? While I'm in the car, I'd rather control my own fate. Can you please move over into the passenger seat? And then I'm going to go ahead and take control of the vehicle. I don't need anybody driving me that's a woman. I'm good. I don't even like seeing women Uber drivers sometimes. They just not good Uber drivers. Maybe they good DoorDash people. Usually they good DoorDashers because they boyfriend be driving them to come and drop off the food. But I don't like seeing women drivers. I'm like, oh my God, what are they doing? Why do they look so stupid? They crazy. Women they can't parallel park. They usually got to take their driver's test multiple different times when they first get their license. I'm like, it ain't that hard. It's parallel parking. They try to get into spaces that's too small with big vehicles. They don't have no real peripheral vision. They don't know how to check their blind spots. They dependent on technology. They confused. They always got to wear glasses and they don't even need the glasses and they nearsighted. Honest to goodness, real talk. If you let a woman, do not let a woman drive a car that has great rims on it. I'm telling you, you're going to see scratches, scrapes, and everything. It's going to be scratches and scrapes all over your rims. Your rims, don't even worry about it. Them rims is done. Real talk. Rims, done. Curb, they got a backup camera, but they always got scratches on the bumper. How you got scratches on the bumper? You got a backup camera. What you keep running into? You can't see the backup camera? Oh, the camera wasn't clean. It was raining that day. Say XXXT again. SXT. They got the Dodge Charger Sext. you got the Sext Dodge Charger. I you know, when I see people that get the rental version of the Dodge Charger, they get the Dodge Charger Sext. We ain't gonna call it the SXT. We're gonna call it the Sext. Anyways, let's continue on with the story. Cadillac gone, never to be seen again. Cadillac looking at the news, they watching the Millionaire Morning Show like, whoo, glad it wasn't me. And it's always an innocent person that gets killed. Always. Sometimes you on your way to work. Sometimes you on your way to school. Sometimes you on your way to church. Next thing you know, you see a Fusion Sport racing a Cadillac running directly into you, and that's why you got to be a little bit more careful. Let me give y'all a little bit more insight on what goes on in this particular intersection in Dallas and why y'all got to be careful on who y'all surround yourself with and who you get in the car with.
This stretch of 2nd Ave is unlike most South Dallas streets because for a little over a mile, there are no traffic lights.
It's a freeway. It's literally a expressway.
Although the speed limit is 30 miles per hour, longtime resident Jimmy Robinson says drivers do anything but.
There's a lot of speed racing down through here.
And on Sunday night, Jimmy and his neighbor Eldridge Kane saw the worst of it.
It was like a boom, like something exploded.
Dallas police say just before 7:40, two vehicles were racing down 2nd Ave traveling northbound. WFAA obtained this surveillance video showing the moments before one of those racing vehicles crosses lanes and hits this pickup truck traveling southbound. You can see people running to help.
It was a mess. I saw a motor in the middle of the street.
They had been doing at least 80 or 90 miles an hour, type of thing I ain't never seen in my life.
Dallas police tell us the driver of that pickup truck died. The driver who hit the truck is being treated at the hospital along with two others.
Hey, might as well die.
That driver is expected to face charges. The second vehicle that was racing left the scene. This 2014 Google image shows there used to be a traffic light here.
There was an accident that actually knocked the traffic light down, and after that, they didn't feel the need to put it back up.
Dallas Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Adam Bazaldua said he submitted a request to the Transportation Department for speed mitigation and traffic control, which many residents hope brings change.
Really, if they put the light back up there, I mean, that would help a lot.
And with this...
So wait a minute. They had a light there, a traffic light that eventually got hit and removed. And so instead of them taking care of business and replacing a light, they was out there protesting against Black Lives Matters and for LGBTQ rights. Whoever this woman is, they are going to jail for the rest of their life probably. Hey, somebody in the chat, let me know, what are the charges for racing causing death? What are the charges for racing causing death? Shouldn't Jasmine Crockett be over into her city actually helping the people in her district get this traffic light back up? Is this Jasmine Crockett's district that ain't got no traffic light, but she over here doing podcasts and talking about Trump? Trump is actually doing his job. He's traveling the world, taking care of business on top of things. Somebody tell me, is this Jasmine Crockett's district over there in Dallas or no? 15 to 20. 15 to 20 years? Yeah, that's bad. That's pretty bad. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. That's pretty bad. She going to jail for the rest of her life. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to go ahead and continue on with the show. Let's get into Trump. He's arriving in Saudi Arabia. We want to know why he's in Saudi Arabia. Shout out to my girl, Just a Brown Girl in America. Race and a fusion is diabolical. You supposed to have a fusion for gas mileage, Just a Brown Girl. Craig G says, it's always the people doing the dumb stuff that survive these crazy accidents. God rest their souls. Innocent person just dead, never coming home because somebody was racing a fusion. My girl, Nurses Love AD, V. Nicole says, I love seeing my handsome friend bright and early, but it doesn't matter. I still won't miss. Have a blessed weekend. Shout out to my girl, V. Nicole. I like that. I like that, V. Paul Johnson says they got the super fuzzy steering wheel every time. And they be having them eyelashes on the front headlights. Paul Johnson says, AD not lying. I was driving with my girl and I pointed out the dip in the street and she didn't slow down. We caught air. Shell Shot says, we're on early bird time this morning. I see good luck, family, and have a productive day. Yeah, we're going to head over to Jason Whitlock after we get done with this. Thank you to everybody that continues to support the platform and support the show. And thank you for everybody that pulled up to the live stream last night. It was awesome. All right, y'all. All right, we got to go ahead and switch it out. 392Q says, what drag strip y'all got in Detroit? Is it Milan? We trying to prevent that. We trying to become a modern city and continue to grow. We're not encouraging that. Detroit has put in speed bumps on all of the places that could be considered or previously was considered the hot spots for racing late at night. We complained. They put in speed bumps everywhere, and so we don't have to worry about that. If you want to race, you can go over to the strip. You can go over to the drag strip where they do sanctioned races. You can go to Milan, all right? We don't do that over in Detroit no more. We're divesting ourselves from the hood culture. And you know the part that I hated the worst about it when it used to be in the Lodge Freeway as a drag strip? You know what I hated the worst about it when I would see people drag racing in Detroit? I hated the fact that most of the time the people that was doing it wasn't even from Detroit. They was from the burbs, far out. They would drive far and wide to come over in Detroit, and then they would be doing burnouts and messing up our streets, and then eventually they would get caught up in some nonsense, and usually we find out, oh, you're not even from here. They'd meet up in Redford. I'm not going to tell you the spots. They'd meet up in Redford, and then they would go into Detroit and then race and be disturbing the peace and the neighbors. Was not even from there. Not even from here. Just to get on my nerves. Like, get out the city, fam. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue on with the show. Trump. So Trump is arriving in Saudi Arabia to talk deals. Let's get into it. We want to get it from both the CNN perspective. I try to be balanced here. The CNN perspective, and then we're going to get over to other platforms to see exactly what's happening as he arrived in Saudi Arabia this morning.
Breaking news this morning, President Trump arriving in Saudi Arabia on his first major overseas visit of his second term. Air Force One getting an escort by Saudi F-15 fighter jets, and the president getting a royal welcome on the tarmac from the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Trump then traveled by motorcade to the Saudi royal court for a more formal greeting. Saudi Arabia is the first stop on his 4-day swing through the Middle East. The trip giving Trump a chance to prove himself as a deal maker on the world stage. He's set to speak later today after attending a lunch with some of the world's top CEOs, including Elon Musk and the leaders of OpenAI, Google, Boeing, Amazon, Nvidia, and Coca-Cola. Trump will also visit Qatar and the UAE on this trip, and it comes as he's defending his administration's plan to accept a $400 million luxury jet from the Qataris to use as Air Force One, a prospect that's raising all kinds of ethical, legal, and security questions. CNN's Jeff Seleny is traveling with the president and joins us now live from Riyadh. It had already been
And we do plan on having that conversation. I'm going to have that conversation right after this because Trump directly addressed reporters about taking a plane. And I thought it was pretty funny, but we'll get into that shortly.
Really busy trip. What is the president focused on here as we see new pictures this morning of him and the leader of Saudi Arabia?
Good morning, Sarah. President Trump arriving here overnight to a fanfare in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Exactly how he would like it. Met with trumpets, American flags, Saudi flags as well, and escorted all along the way by the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who of course is a close ally of the United States and indeed a good friend of this president and the administration. This trip, which the president is setting off on, which is the first major foreign trip of his second term in office, is actually quite brief, just about 3.5 days or so. But today he is focused exclusively on making deals, trying to increase investment in the United States. He's coming with a large contingent of U.S. CEOs, multinational CEOs as well. They are meeting for a luncheon and then later having a meeting here in Saudi Arabia with Saudi officials as well. But this is much more about making investments in the U.S., reaching deals rather than focusing on the geopolitics of the region, which of course is hanging over this administration. Many of the challenges facing the Trump administration, of course, and the world are not being discussed as much, at least in the opening hours of these meetings, as the deals that are coming underway. And you mentioned that airplane. The president, of course, arriving here in Saudi Arabia on the old Air Force One, but the new controversy over a plane he would like to be Air Force One is certainly following him here. He is making no apologies about the idea of accepting a plane worth some $450 million or so from the Qatari royal family. Many things have to happen for that to fall into place. Many Republicans have criticized this. Democrats, of course, have as well. But the president is embracing that. He will actually visit Qatar on his next stop here tomorrow before going to the UAE as well. But for today, at least, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, he's following in the footsteps of his first trip when he became president some 8 years ago. He also stopped in Riyadh, but at that point he was introducing himself to the world. Now the world is well aware of him, of course. He is trying to cement some business deals, many of them also including the Trump Organization and the Trump family. Since he became president, of course, the deals of the Trump Organization and Trump family have increased some threefold. So no doubt that is also a subtext to all of this, Sarah.
So Trump is in Saudi Arabia to obviously cement some deals. And I love the fact that Trump is basically allowing himself to be displayed on the world stage. And for a long time, the United States of America has been misused. And I say this all the time in personal business, but both personal business and also, what we call relationships. Relationships are supposed to be two-way streets, right? And a marriage is supposed to be an exchange for strengths and weaknesses. When it comes to business relationships, if you get something out of it, I get something out of it. That's called transactional, using each other. And then on the world stage, it's the same thing. When we do deals with other countries, when we do trade with other countries, when we protect other countries, when we participate in NATO, we are supposed to be getting something in return, not just being good stewards of the world. But what we've experienced over the previous administration and administrations before Trump is that the world has basically been taking advantage of us, and they've been promoting us as just being good stewards over the world. And so you've seen a few people get rich, and then the rest of the United States of America was basically subsidizing the world, which now, as you see Trump head on the world stage and him continue to publicly address and make deals with different leaders, they are now gifting and as well as making sure that they roll out the red carpet for the Trump administration because they want to continue to do business with the United States of America. And more importantly, they want to cement deals to the tune of roughly $600 billion to start inside of the United States of America. Let me say that again. One of the deals on the table that CNN is failing to mention, and I'm going to play a little bit more just to see if they're going to lead with that headline. And this is another reason why you see Mark Zuckerberg and all of the world leaders here in the United States of America, all of the people that are running these huge companies, they are accompanying Trump to this trip. You want the people that are experts in the room and experts in their field and running these great companies to also be participatory in what you have going on a world stage. And so now we've never seen a president more visible, more open, letting the doors open, having conversations. You've seen him doing it with Canada. You see him doing it when he allows for people to see exactly what the world is offering. Nothing is happening under a table that we know of, right? You can't put anything past anybody. But my point is that we've never seen this. We've never seen America become the America that we've read about in the history books, and we're literally witnessing history in real time right now. It is a great time to be alive. Please don't spam the chat. You can disagree with me. I love you when you disagree with me. I love it when you guys participate in the chat. Get it in, get it popping. But we see the first comment that you put. You don't have to copy and paste it. It actually shows that you're a little bit butthurt and you're a little bit upset about what we're talking about. And I do interact with the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Somebody said Bill Gates didn't go. Bill Gates doesn't run Microsoft. Do you know who runs Microsoft? Bill Gates is a shareholder. Bill Gates benefits from Microsoft because he's continuously being an investor. He's also an investor in a lot of different things. He invests in trash. He invests in soft drinks. He invests in technology. He invests in a lot of things. He invests in farming. Okay? Bill Gates shouldn't be there because he is not the CEO of Microsoft. Phil Richardson says Trump doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Interesting. If Trump doesn't know what he's doing, I'm guessing that you'd be a better representation of the United States of America to go in and negotiate. I guess you can tell him. I'm sure him surrounded by the greatest and the best advisors in the world, including all of our technology leaders, he has no clue what he's doing. Nobody is letting him know what's going on. Nobody is advising him. He's been a previous president before. He's a new president now again, and he has no clue what he's doing at all. He's just going over there, just confused. Got it. Let's see if CNN can give us any more insight.
Absolutely. He has become a richer man while in office as president. Thank you so much, Jeff Seleny. Great reporting there from Riyadh.
Overshadowing this trip, of course, is that $400 million plane that Qatar's royal family reportedly offered to the president.
Oh, Phil. Come on, fam. You got to get out of your emotions with your red. Is that red cups that's in your hand in that picture? Yeah, we're going to take advice from Phil. We're going to take advice from the guy with the braids that got a red cup in his hand in his profile picture. All right, Phil. You've officially lost my attention. I was giving you a little bit of visibility. Now you want to get in. You want to go with ad hominem attacks. Okay, Phil. All right. You was looking for my attention. I was trying to talk to you like an adult. Congratulations. You should go and appear on Mika's podcast, the Red Cup Podcast. All right, we're going to talk about the planes shortly. Let's get this from another view. And let's talk about the world leaders. We're going to get it from Fox News also. And we're going to talk about why Mark Zuckerberg and Sam Altman, a lot of people don't know who Sam Altman is, but they'll explain it to you shortly, is over in Saudi Arabia also.
Looks like the Saudi Crown Prince is launching a new AI company. Kurt, the cyber guy, joins us now. So, Kurt, a big announcement this morning. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, hours before the president's arrival, and good morning to you, Lawrence. It's called Humane AI, and a bit of an ironic name for MBS and the Saudi government. This is going to be an AI fund that is being established, largely funded out of the existing PIF fund in Saudi. And you know,
and you guys don't censor or block Phil. Let Phil fight with himself inside of the chat and get his rocks off. He's been waiting all morning in order to be able to say this. He woke up early so that he can say so. Congratulations, Phil. Let him fight with himself. Don't block him. Don't censor him. Let him put what he wants, as long as he's not spamming the chat and being overly disrespectful. We rock out with Phil. Let him be dusty.
Cheryl hit on it. Who's in the room right now? You've got Meta's, which is Facebook, and Instagram's. Mark Zuckerberg is there, and it says a lot who's in these images that we're seeing on the screen. Who's in that room? Another one, OpenAI, Sam Altman, as you know him from ChatGPT. Yep. He is there. And also here, Mark Zuckerberg's friend, Elon Musk. Elon Musk in the room, of course. a lot going on with AI discussions at this forum that's coming up. Now, what do they want? Why are they there? Well, 960 billion reasons, because the Crown Prince has one of the largest investment funds on the planet, and this investment fund is ready to go with technology investments from, AI processing farms to you name it. Development in this category is exploding globally, and they really want to get their hands into it, and they're trying to get their hands on that money and deals made at this conference, thanks to largely the Trump administration putting a focus on technology and the growth of technology back to the U.S. at this point in time.
How would that work, Kurt? They wouldn't be competitors? If MBS has started Humane, this AI company, wouldn't whoever's running ChatGPT be a competitor? How would that work? How would our American investors, how would they get access to PIF, which is the Crown Prince's company?
Yeah, I mean, the ideal would be that we as Americans and our technology American players in the room ideally would cultivate that investment back to the U.S. So how do we grow in the United States through AI? We spend money, and we spend money here on our own soil or in ownership of AI elsewhere, and then it grows the American...
Ida, if you're still in the chat, could you put your Cash App in for your car so that he can send it to me in a text message, and I can make sure that y'all get y'all money that y'all won this morning?
An economy, and it grows us as keeping us on the forefront of AI, while really China is biting at the heels right now to try to advance beyond us. Thankfully, right now, without a lot of regulation, we're able to advance very quickly. But the bottom line here is it's about making deals with that sort of, you're either going to be my friend or my enemy. You're my competitor, or you're going to be, no matter what, we're going to dance. So do you bring that dance back to the U.S.? Do you try to carve out what our nation can get out of the growth in AI with one of the world's largest funds of $960 billion? You do. You get there and you make deals.
Are you suggesting that...
That's almost $1 trillion investment fund. That's pretty insane. That's got to be one of the biggest in the world. Has to be one of the biggest in the world.
This would be more of a partnership versus when you look at China, we're concerned that they're stealing all the intellectual property when it comes to AI, essentially just lifting it, and then they say they're making it better.
Yeah, they are exactly doing that. China has been famous for stealing a lot of corporate America's intelligence, including AI, including a lot of technology advances. We had a story we're tracking right now about other communist governments that are coming into the U.S. to just simply steal from us and go develop it on their own, trying to do it for less money. And in this case, this really is about what kind of deal can we put together with one of the world's largest investors. This is about talking to money bags. So you got money bags and you're in the room, you're going after it to try to cultivate that funding back to America, back to our U.S. funds, and back to growing technology, which is the forefront of those three major players there. And those are just scratching the surface of the technology players that are there at this conference. And if you look back, I mean, they weren't there before. This was not something that was at the forefront. You've got a leader of this country right now going, I see something here with technology, let's play ball. And that's why you got the party going on that you're looking at on your screen.
Right. We should have always, you're right, Night J. This is why it's important for us to have a businessman as president of the United States of America. More importantly, I think that we should have business people and businessmen, emphasis on men. If women are exceptional in their roles and they're able to take on that responsibility, I don't think that they should be discriminated against, but I think that they should have to meet the same expectations that we have for men, and we shouldn't have diversity, equity, and inclusion in our elections. I think that almost every single person that runs a city, that runs a state, that is on city council, and more importantly, whether you're a Congress member or you're the president of the United States of America, I think that they all should have a pedigree in business, 100%. I was a fan of Ross Perot. I think that Ross Perot would have made an exceptional president. I was a huge fan as I go back and I research and I look at his business acumen and some of the things that he was saying that we should have did. I think that the United States of America would have been much better off with Ross Perot as president of the United States of America. But Ross was funding his own campaign. He was self-made. He was similar to Trump as being self-made. and he wasn't a part of any political establishment. I think that that's one of the things that hurt him and ultimately hurt us as the United States of America. But everything that we do should be business, and it should be in favor of the United States of America. It should be in favor of how do we benefit U.S. citizens? How do we put more money in our pocket? How do we reduce the amount of money that we pay in taxes? How do we increase investment to ensure that we have American jobs and other people can benefit also? But this is 100% a business trip, and I love it. I would prefer to see Trump on business trips than I would see all of these conversations about war and rumors of war and more war and warring. Anything that put more money in our pockets as the United States of America, I'm all for it. Make sure you guys hit a like, and I'll keep you guys up to date on what happens over in Saudi Arabia. Obviously, we'll probably talk about it a little bit tomorrow. It's a 3-day trip. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me address a couple of super chats. I'm in such a good mood. That's because I've been so productive. Juju says, hello, my name is Anton Bootlicker Daniels. Hey, have y'all noticed that Juju is still here? It's still here. Listen, a view from a person that is negatively but really love you, God just spoke to me. No, Lord, tell me that that's not true. No, God. No. Juju licks his phone when he sees me on the screen. Bro, that's not cool. Some of these people are hardcore Anton Daniels lovers. They don't hate me. They love me. Think about their insult. That insult is the insult of a person that is roughly 17 years old, and they got that sticker that goes across on a room. You know how you put that Toy Story sticker across the top of your bedroom and you got the popcorn ceilings? Look at the way the insult is written. Hello, my name is, and I'm a bootlicker. Like, that screams femininity. We could have had you on the panel for the Q show last night. Gay. Nate Bit says, I would have paid to see the Musk versus Zuck pay-per-view. Mr. Lot says, so much money to be made in AI. Yeah, it's a lot of bags. It's a lot of bags. Daniel says, Anton hit up the Perot Museum in Dallas. He got a museum in Dallas? All right. Anyways, make sure you guys continue to... Hold on, let me read this. This one caught my eye. Devin Love says, why did we provide aid to a country that attacked us? Devin, do you really believe that another country attacked us in 9/11? Just asking a question. I'm not going to deep dive into it. I'm not going to go into my conspiracy theory bag. I'm just going to ask the question. Devin, do you believe that another country attacked us in 9/11? Do you really believe it? You believe that story? Even without social media and all of the footage that we've been able to review over the times, do you believe that another country attacked us on 9/11? I got a bridge to sell you. Anyways, yes. Ginger and juice. That is a good one. That is a very, very good one. Ginger and juice. That is a good one. Abundance Mind says, AD, could you dive into this on Stock Club to get a better understanding of how we can benefit from this financially and where we should be looking to invest based off of the relationship bills? Appreciate you. Absolutely. We can talk about it. Abundance Mindset. So do y'all want me to talk about how we can benefit from investment when it comes to what all of the AI advancements is going on? Or do y'all want me to talk about content creation? Because people are asking me a couple different things. I'll do a poll inside of the Patreon and we'll go from there. Yeah, they took the plane with box cutters. Right. They took the plane with box cutters. Ain't been the same with TSA ever since. Anyways, let's go on with the show. So a lot of people are trying to evaluate whether or not Trump is doing the right type of deals, as though they are qualified to speak on it. But a lot of people are talking about whether or not Trump did the right thing and accepting this plane from Qatar. So I only want to spend 10 minutes on it because Trump directly addressed this. We've never had a president that directly address the issues that people are concerned about. He's not running from it. He's not dodging him. He's not getting out of it. He's directly addressing the issue. And so let's talk about the ethics behind the possibility of Trump accepting a plane from Qatar. Should he accept it? Should he not accept it? Well, this was his words directly in what he said when it came to the plane in Qatar.
It's going to be very interesting.
Mr. President, what do you say to people who view that luxury jet as a personal gift to you? Why not leave it behind?
You're ABC fake news, right?
Why not leave
Oh my God. He's so petty. He's so petty. Why my president so petty, y'all? Why he's so quick with the snapbacks? He's so petty. Imagine one of the most powerful men in the world calling you ABC fake news. Oh my God. So petty. While he's signing an executive order in order to reduce drug prices for seniors. Oh.
As a personal gift to you? Why not leave it behind?
You're ABC fake news, right?
Why not?
It's only ABC. Well, a few of you would. Let me tell you, you should be embarrassed asking that question. They're giving us a free jet. I could say, no, don't give us. I want to pay you $1 billion or 400 million or whatever it is. Or I could say, thank you very much. You know, there was an old golfer named Sam Snead. Did you ever hear of him? He won 82 tournaments. He was a great golfer. And he had a motto: when they give you a putt, you say, thank you very much. You pick up your ball and you walk to the next hole. A lot of people are stupid. They say, no, I insist on putting it. Then they putt it and they miss it. And their partner gets angry at them. You know what? Remember that, Sam Snead. When they give you a putt, you pick it up and you walk to the next hole and you say, thank you very much.
Respectfully, sir.
Now, I wonder if we'd have had Biden in office, if he would have been able to explain it to us from a business perspective that clearly. Makes sense to me. Makes perfect sense to me. If they want to give you a putt, then you take it. You say thank you very much and you keep it moving. 100%. I myself, on a much more microscopic level than Trump, had to learn to accept when people were blessing me. Did y'all remember a year ago, a couple years ago? I don't remember how long ago it was, and I don't remember what was happening, but you guys started showering me with so much love, and y'all was really holding me down, and y'all was contributing into the platform and all of this stuff. And you know me, I'm never a person that's going to ask for anything. I'm always just going to try to add value. And then I appreciate everybody that support the platform. And that's why I acknowledge everybody that Super Chat, Cash App, everything. I try never, ever to forget anybody. And I always try to give back. And I always try to fund people's businesses and give back to the community. But you guys, and I got emotional and I crashed out and I said, I'm ending the stream. Y'all keep on sending too much money. And I was like, you know what? Y'all checked me on it. I got a whole bunch of messages. People was calling me like, man, what's wrong with you? Grow up. Stop having a temper tantrum. What you trying to prove to people? You trying to prove that you the greatest and most ethical person in the world? People know who you are, and that's the reason why they rock with you. And I said, you know what? Let me get out of my feelings. I came back on the live stream the next day, and I said, you know what? I appreciate y'all. You got to stop insulting people when they want to look out for you. When somebody appreciates you, when somebody does something big for you, for whatever reason, they are trillionaires over there in Qatar. And we sitting here talking about whether or not we should accept the gift or not. What? They owe money. They ain't tripping off that. If they had it to give, if it was a problem, they wouldn't be offering it. If it wasn't a problem, they wouldn't be offering it. Listen, I know few guys that have turned down free box. Don't sit here and talk to me about ethics in here. Don't sit here and talk to me about ethics. Y'all taking box from people that shouldn't even be in your vicinity. And you tipping right after that. Just because you're a nice person and you appreciate the box gesture. Y'all not even turning down free box. Missed me with the nonsense talking about you would turn down a free plane. Get the hell out of here. Get the heck out of here. All of these people acting like they're holier than thou. Oh, you just stole some gum from the gas station the other day because you ain't had your phone on you. Your kids are thieves. I know who you liberals are. Y'all are the same ones that was stealing over there in California and you sitting there talking about you shouldn't take it. What? Get the heck out of here. I know you got a case pending right now that you dodging from, that you in a whole nother city and you in a whole nother state because you know you got a warrant for stealing Funyuns. You've been stealing Funyuns and hot Cheetos for a long time. They caught you and they told you to appear back for court. You left because you didn't want to get in trouble and you went and found a new job and now you got a whole new persona that you selling to the people over in Atlanta. I know who you are. I know who you are. They stole PPP loan money and tried to justify it to us. You steal every single day. You steal every day and you sitting here talking about ethics.
As a businessman, some people may look at this and say, have you ever been given a gift worth millions of dollars and then not received anything?
It's not a gift to me, it's a gift to the Department of Defense. And you should know better because you've been embarrassed enough and so has your network. Your network is a disaster. ABC is a disaster. Here is the bill. Bobby, come on over here.
Oh my God, this guy is crazy. I love it though.
President Trump arriving in Saudi Arabia this morning, his first major foreign trip of his second term, also including stops in Qatar and the United Arab Emirates. The focus, deepening economic ties.
You said this is sad, Anton. Come on with what? They owe us. The whole world owe the United States of America all kind of gifts. We are owed trillions of dollars from every single nation on the face of this earth. Every country on the world, on the face of this earth. China owe us. Qatar owe us. Saudi Arabia owe us. Europe owes us. The United Kingdom owes us. Japan owes us. Both Koreas owe us. What you talking about? Everybody owe us. They should be showering us with gifts. They owe us. Everybody owe us. The United States of America deserves better treatment. We should be rolled the red carpet out for every single time that they come here. Every single time. Everybody owe us. We not turning down no gifts. We need all of the money in the coffer right now. Right now. You just gave a bunch to your pastor the other day. He didn't turn you down. Did you hold him accountable? And he ain't even got nothing to give you. He can't write a law. He can't help you get into heaven. And he got 2 side chicks. You pay your tithes and offering. You overpay for the building fund. And you give to the pastor. He pull up in his Cadillac and you don't have nothing to say. And you're going to sit here and criticize the president of the United States of America. We're not going for it. We're not doing no self-righteousness here on the Millionaire Morning Show today.
Ties with the Gulf kingdoms. Saudi's crown prince promised a $600 billion investment in the U.S. when Trump was reelected, and the United Arab Emirates.
That's why we in debt. That's why we in debt, Quinn, because they owe us. We collecting on all debt. We collecting student loan debts. Listen, anybody that got student loan debt, we don't want to hear from you on this segment of the show until you pay off your student loan debt to the United States of America.
Committed to a $1.4 trillion investment. The New York Times reports the Trump administration is now considering selling thousands of artificial intelligence chips to an Emirati AI firm, which the U.S. has scrutinized for ties to China. It comes as the president faces backlash over a $400 million proposed gift from Qatar, a luxury Boeing 747.
And I could be a stupid person and say, no, we don't want a free, very expensive airplane.
These photos showing what's been described as a flying palace that would replace the aging Air Force One with 2 furnished floors, plush carpets, leather seats, and 2 bedrooms.
The administration claiming the gift would be legal, insisting Qatar is getting nothing in return. Trump saying it's a gift to the Pentagon and the plane will transfer to the Trump Presidential Library Foundation once he leaves office. But critics on both the left and the right blasting the gift as unethical and citing national security concerns.
Taking sacks of goodies from people who support Hamas, Muslim Brotherhood, Al Jazeera, all the rest, that's not America first.
Would we let another country decorate the Oval Office? Would we let another country build the Situation Room? Would we let another country wire the press office? Oh, wait. Air Force One.
We absolutely do. It's called migrants. Illegal migrants that's coming over here. Listen, this whole country is built off of people that's not from here. From black people to illegal migrants, the farmers, all of these people, yes, we do. We let people all the time come over here and do what they want to do when they want to. They even sell us the products that we don't even like over here. And now we got Shein, Temu, Fashion Nova. All of those is just reincarnations of rainbow.
Is all three.
The jet would also have to meet the strict Air Force requirements for
and is made by Boeing, which is an American company.
Presidential aircraft.
It would have to go through a security sweep to search for listening devices and tracking devices.
Trump's overseas trip also comes a day after his temporary truce with China to negotiate tariffs, now agreeing to slash tariffs on Chinese goods coming into the U.S. to 30%. China lowering its retaliatory tariff on American goods to...
You said weak take, Anton, it's a security risk. So, again, same thing as yesterday. So you're basically telling me that we're not sufficient in being able to make sure that it's actually something that, or go through and vet, or, you know, do all of our security and all of this other type of stuff. You're basically telling us that we're inadequate in being able to make sure that everything is what it's supposed to be. Right? It's a security risk.
10%. Stocks soaring on the news Monday, but one top economist questions whether China will be willing to offer any substantial changes in trade policy going forward, saying China has successfully called Trump's bluff.
If a longer-term deal is not reached with China at the end of these 90 days, can the American people expect those tariffs to go back up to 145%?
No, but they would go up substantially higher. I think you will have a deal, however.
And as for that luxury jet from Qatar, Boeing...
So, I don't have a problem with it based off of what he's saying. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't care. I don't really care. I want to see more deals. I want to see more jobs. I want to see more things happening for U.S. citizens. I want to see people continuing to grow, run up a bag. The last thing that I care about is whether or not we got a plane, a free plane from Qatar. I'm just being absolutely honest. The last thing that I care about is whether or not Trump got a free plane from Qatar. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to go on with the show. Is that one? There we go. I genuinely don't care. James says, Phil, if we don't have a business mindset, people in positions in the U.S. would not be as prosperous as it is now. We need people like this to make deals with other countries to bring more money back to the United States of America. I agree with that. Let's see what we got. David Williams says, did you see Tory Lanez got stabbed 14 times? Yeah, I did a whole video on it on the Anton Daniels channel. Shout out to you. I appreciate it. Spaces says, Juju searched all across the internet for Anton just to finally find Anton and say, move it, football head. Man, let the little kids play in the sandbox. I don't stop. Have y'all ever seen a person that was slow, wore a helmet, drooled a little bit? Have y'all ever seen them and they got mad at you? Yeah, I don't like you. That's what I see. That's what I see from people that are dusty that then tell me, am I supposed to say, oh my God, no, I need to change for you. Let me go ahead and make some adjustments. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kane Sports says, I work for U.S. Steel in Pittsburgh. Check out the recent story about Nippon meeting with U.S. Steel. I'll talk about that later. All right, send that to me. Chris Cunningham says, y'all tripping on free box. Mr. Lot says, they got a picture up in Walmart banned for life. Facts. We know these types. Aaron L says, was the jet just for Trump? How would they have made it that fast? I think it was for the country in general, but still major security concerns. Trump, aka Tony Soprano, says Chris Cunningham. James says, Anton, I think people want the Department of Defense to send millions on plane, increase the national debt. Manuel AG says, if the prayer was coming from Israel, Ben Shapiro would have had a different tune. I don't listen to Ben Shapiro anymore. I'm over Ben Shapiro. Ever since Candace Owens left, Ben Shapiro doesn't exist to me. New Age Trucking with Hefe says, why did Trump say white South Africans are facing genocide when they're colonizers themselves? They committed the same act not long ago in South Africa. It's real genocide going on in that country. I'm not familiar with what you're talking about, but send it to me, and maybe we can review it tomorrow. Plane, not prayer, says Manuel AG. Oh, okay, I see what you were saying. 392Q says, y'all mad about Trump getting a free plane, but mad y'all didn't win Anton State's game for $100. Like y'all will ever ride in that plane. I'm going to make it on Air Force One day. Juju says, you're ethically challenged, Anton. You goddamn right I'm ethically challenged, because if I see yo girl and she choose me on an I Choose You tour, I'm going to be in Richmond tomorrow. I'm doing a Millionaire Morning Show here, and I'm going to be in Richmond tomorrow. If yo girl choose me on an I Choose You tour, I'm going to choose her back. And then we can talk about ethics after I get up and I walk out the room. After she signed the paperwork, we're going to talk about whether I was ethical or not in addressing her concerns, or if I met the expectations. And then I'm going to send her home to you, and I'm not going to let her brush her teeth before she go. So, yep, you're right. I am ethically concerned, or I'm ethically challenged, and I'm praying to God that he fixed that before I get over, and I have to account for that. Chase Barnes says, happy Tuesday, ADM peeps. Trump in that press conference is showing the world he ain't messing around. Pay up. Time to pay up. Facts. My dog, Class Eat, is in the building. Says, good morning, Eddie in the Bag Chasers. Let's get it. Let's get it. I am going to Richmond. Going to Richmond to see just how much I am going to be ethically challenged. Where the baby girls at? The snow bunnies, the baby girls, baby girl. Where they at? Where they at over in Richmond? Where I need to go? What's happening over in Richmond? Who do I need to visit in order to find out where to find the girls that's choosing back? And we not tipping her, Chris. No tips. No tips. Only kisses on the forehead is what we doing. Only forehead kisses. Forehead kisses is where we going. All right, y'all, let's continue. Let's continue on with the show. All right. There's some people that saying that they don't like the fact that Trump is having a 90-day pause. The liberals, the Democrats are saying that they don't like the deal that they have with Trump. They don't even know anything about a deal. Only thing that they said was that they were going to pause it for 90 days and reduce tariffs because China agreed to reduce their tariffs down to 10%. And so the United States of America reduced their reciprocal tariffs down to 30%. And they're continuing to do a deal. So first of all, okay. So first y'all complain that Trump is using tariffs in order to get a deal done that works in the favor of the United States of America. Then they complain and say, well, we don't like the fact that Trump is doing a deal with China in order to get more products over here that we like. Which side of the aisle are y'all going to be on? So we're going to hear it from both the Democrat and the Republican side, and we're going to get it from the business side on Fox News. Again, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel. It is, Jerry. Forehead kisses is intimate. Mwah. Mwah. And listen, when y'all kiss the forehead, don't kiss it once and don't be overly aggressive. Mwah. Don't do that. Rub her hair back. So precious to me. Mwah. Keep pulling her hair back. She's still trying to make sure ain't nothing in her eyes. She doing this. Make sure it don't get in her eyes. Stop. Hug her. You mean so much to me. I gotta keep you on the team. Mwah. Where the rag at? Oh, man, we gotta focus, y'all. I'm gonna cut that part out when I clip this up. Let's see what Fox Business News is saying about Trump's tariffs and whether or not he's doing a good deal with his deal with China.
12 minutes into the trading session, and boy, have we got a rally for you. The Dow's back to a 1,000-point gain. The Nasdaq is at a 3.25% gain, and the S&P 500 is up 2.5%. That's a very strong start to a Monday morning. Over the weekend, President Trump took to Truth Social to celebrate.
Y'all be messing up the show. Y'all got me over here. I wouldn't be having this conversation if they don't keep pushing me. They want me to crash out so bad.
Tariffs, he called it a financial revolution. Stephen Moore joins me. Steve, I know you're not a fan of the tariffs, but would you call what we've got going now a financial revolution?
Well, it could be the start of one. You know, what Trump has basically been saying, and you're right, I'm not a big tariff guy. I'm much more in favor of free trade and lower tariffs. But if Trump can pull this off, and the only country that could do this is the United States, because we're the hub of the world economy, is to force all these other countries to lower their tariffs. And it looks right now like he's succeeding. I mean, we got that blockbuster deal with the UK last week, and now it looks like, I don't know all the details, I don't think any of us do at this point with respect to China, but it looks like it's a dramatic reduction in tariffs on both sides of the Pacific with respect to the U.S. reducing our tariffs and China theirs. If you get this domino effect, then you're going to see a lot more green on that screen over the next few weeks. Now, I still think there's a lot of, I don't want to rain on this parade, but I still think there's a lot of choppy waters to go with respect to the devil really being in the details of how these negotiations are going to proceed. But, oh my God, I mean, what's the Dow up now? 3,000 points from its low point?
What did I tell y'all to do? Hey, go over there, purchase stocks. It's going to be a discount. We're going to run up a bag. For those of you that didn't have no debt and you've been stacking and you're trying to figure out what to do with your money, go and run up a bag. Go buy stocks. Go get rich. Trump said it. Hey, this is going to be a great wealth transfer. It's an opportunity for y'all to make a bag. Go buy stocks. Go get rich. And you know what you did? You sat on your hands. I don't like it. Bag chasers are strategizing. We said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and add another thread into the Discord. We're going to figure out where the money is. Dow was up 3,000 since its low. Ain't even been 2 months. Some of y'all has doubled and tripled your net worth. You continued to dollar cost average. You didn't panic. You didn't sell. You didn't jump off a bridge. They don't have anything to criticize anymore. We doing deals with China. The Dow is going to continue to go up. The S&P 500 is going to continue to go up. You are going to experience over the next 3.5 to 4 years some of the biggest returns of all time. And you know what these broke liberals and these dusties that want diversity, equity, and inclusion did? They sat on their hands and they said, I don't like it. I'm about to start paying my the people that stream with me, I'm about to start forcing them. Carrie, Mika, Quentin, Slammy, Molly, Kim, Q, I'm about to start paying them 75% in stocks. 25% of what I pay them, I'm going to pay them in cash. I'm going to pay them in a check. And then the other 75% of their checks, I'm going to start paying them in stocks. I'm not messing around. I'm going to force y'all. I'm going to start forcing people to invest in themselves. I'm not going to depend on y'all to do it for yourself. This is too much money for us to take advantage of. And if you are not taking advantage of it, that is unfortunate for you. I'm about to start paying my people in stocks and crypto. I'm honest to God, I ain't playing. I'm about to start paying my people in stocks and crypto. I'm not paying them no more in regular money. If they want the cash out of it, it's gonna have to be a barrier to entry. They're gonna have to jump over in order to get there. I'm paying them in stocks and crypto from now on. It's too much money being made for us not to take advantage of this.
By the way, this is pretty close to a high point, isn't it, on the Dow? We're pretty close to it.
Yeah, we're not too far away from it. Let me put it like that. But look at the gains in the Nasdaq are absolutely spectacular.
Spectacular.
Never see anything. Well,
so by the way, Stuart, you've known me a long time. I very rarely admit that I was wrong, but maybe I was wrong about this strategy.
I'm gonna pay them 40% stocks, 40% crypto, and then the other 20% I'm gonna give it to him as a regular deposit.
Because if he's able to pull this off, to my free trade friends out there, we would end up with freer trade and less restraints on trade, both in terms of the tariffs and the non-tariff, barriers to America.
Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is over 103,000. I started buying crypto. I've been understanding it. I'm gonna go ahead and have that conversation on how we gonna diversify our portfolio inside of the Patreon. Bitcoin is over 103,000.
Our goods abroad. So this could turn out, but I don't want irrational exuberance here, because I want to make sure that we're calm about this and realize there's still a lot of work to be done on the tariff front.
Okay, Republicans are working on Trump's big, beautiful bill.
Yep.
But the Wall Street Journal says, look,
your cars just put it in the chat. If y'all in the Patreon, but y'all are not attached to the Discord, the link to the Discord is in the description of any of the most recent videos inside of the Patreon. For you to find your tribe and your community, because we continue the conversations even after the live streams and the videos. Y'all need to do that.
Tax cuts are shrinking. See that? The incredible shrinking GOP tax cut. Are they accurate? Are we getting less of a tax cut than we were hoping for?
Well, not exactly. By the way, as you know, I was on the editorial board there for 10 years, so a lot of friends there are still working on these editorials. I think they're a little bit behind the curve on well, that piece ran, I think, on Saturday, but just over the weekend now you're seeing Republicans and President Trump saying we're not going to raise the highest tax rate because we were all worried about that. That would be the dumbest thing to do, because the most harmful rate is the one that has the highest rate. It has the most distortionary effects. So I'm feeling a lot better about things. I would put the odds at 85% at this point, Stuart, that we will get this deal cut. I think now we're looking at maybe 4th of July. I would have liked to have seen it done on Memorial Day. A lot of deals that still need to be cut on that, but I think it's going to be a big, beautiful bill in the end. I really do.
So what happens to the market and the economy? We've got the China trade deal. There are 24 other deals on paper ready to be signed. Suppose we get the tax cut. You've said there's an 85% chance that we get it, and we get some deregulation stuff. What happens to the market then?
Well, it's a beautiful picture. The only real question is how much of that is already priced into the market. I'd say probably a lot of it is.
Brown girl, we talk about it.
Most investors do realize this tax cut is going to happen. The trade deals, I think, are just harder to predict. I mean, my gosh, Stuart, you've been in this business a long time. Have you ever seen a market like this? I mean, up and down. Remember, it was three weeks ago. I mean, I was on the ledge ready to jump off, and now look at these numbers. So we're not out of the woods yet. I just want to remind people that there's.
So the very economists, such as the man that's sitting here right now, the very economists that criticized Trump when Trump said we are going to make more money in stocks in the stock market than ever before, is now back on the bandwagon, and he's still trying to teeter and say, well, we're not out of the woods yet, but everything seems to be going in the right direction. However, on CNN, they have frizzy-haired economists that are saying that they don't like the deal that's going on with China. Check it out.
Justin, great to see you.
And let me also say this to Phil. You see how we don't censor people and we let you get your shit off, and we still allowing for you to say what you want to say inside of the chat? That's how we rock over here. We big boys. It's the big boy club. Now, I know that a lot of y'all like to get a little bit more disrespectful than usual when you try to find, when somebody give you a little bit of freedom. Tread carefully. But people can disagree with us over here on the Millionaire Morning Show. We not tripping.
Always your reaction to this deal to come up with a longer-term deal later?
Let me give you a short-term reaction and a longer run. The short-term reaction is this is very good news. Our tariffs on China were previously so high it was effectively an embargo. We don't actually have to travel to Geneva for the US government to decide to cut the rate at which it taxes Americans for importing goods from China, but I'm glad that it did. And it's going to create a whole lot of calm for the next few days. The medium run thing to worry about is at the moment, the half-life of a tariff announcement from the White House is around 6 to 8 days. So as encouraged as I am that this is the movement, the direction in which it's moving, I'm not sure that that businesses can be confident that we're going to hit the more harmonious times that we had prior to this administration.
The director of the National Economic Council, Kevin Hassett, says that China made certain concessions when it came to allowing U.S. exporters to enter the Chinese market or certain aspects of the Chinese market. I wonder what you make of that. Is that a win that the White House can point to justify levying these tariffs to begin with?
Oh, it's not a win and it's not a justification, but more to the point, when the White House says we got some concessions, but I'm not telling you what they are, they told us this about the Britain-UK deal, and it turns out that the UK-US deal, that was actually not a deal. It was an agreement to have an agreement at some point in the future. So if it's not written down and signed and they're not willing to show us that, then I'm not sure I believe it.
It's called a process, and he had the UK on the phone, and they agreed to it, and so they're hammering out the little details so that they can get a deal signed. But this is just proof. Even when Trump is winning and he's proving all of his haters wrong, you can't satisfy everybody because somebody is going to act like they're disappointed and they're going to act like they're butthurt about the whole situation. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me just go over one more thing, and then I'm going to start to get ready to head over to Jason Whitlock's platform so that we can have this conversation. Diddy. I know a lot of people have long forgotten about Diddy. Cassie is set to take the stand today, and so I'll probably do a reaction video to the reaction videos of that because it is a closed-off case. It is not open like the YSL trial or anything like that. New details in Diddy's freak-off case. Let me go over to that really quickly. Let's talk about it. Make sure you guys, and they saying that Diddy got a head full of gray hair. They say his whole beard, his whole hair is all white. All white. Do y'all think that we'll ever see Diddy in person or in a picture ever again? Here's some of the details of what's happening in the first day of testimony before Cassie is set to take the stand today.
All right, welcome back in here to Live Now from Fox. I'm Andy Mack. Almost 6.
Somebody said, what is the Discord? The Discord is an extension of the Patreon, but more conversations are happening based off of the thread that you decide. Just go into, when you go into the Patreon, click the Discord. It's extended conversations of what is happening already in the Patreon and with the bag chasers. All right.
O'clock here on the East Coast as day one of the Sean Diddy Combs trial wrapping up in New York City. We had the jury be seated, opening statements, and then some explosive graphic witness testimony early on. A live picture right now outside of the courthouse. We're awaiting any comments. We did see some of the family members for Sean Diddy Combs, the music mogul, leaving a short while ago. All right, let's continue on here on Live Now from Fox and bring into the conversation Fox 5 reporter Michelle Ross on the ground outside of the courthouse. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us. What can you tell us about what happened inside that courtroom today?
Well, the latest witness to take the stand today is a man named Daniel Phillips, and he was a male strip show manager. He would manage male strippers who would perform for things like bachelorette parties. But he said that he was paid to have sex with Cassie Ventura back in 2013 in a New York City hotel while Sean Diddy Combs allegedly sat in the corner, watched, and masturbated. This morning, his family...
That is wild. That is wild. That is absolutely, positively insane. That is insane to me. Good God. Paying somebody else to bust down your chick so you can then take her to a New York Knicks game after you done beat off in a corner. That is crazy.
Entered the courthouse while leaving a black van. This includes his children, his sons, and also his twin daughters. His family has heard graphic allegations of the alleged sexual encounters, and his daughters walked out during that testimony. Phillips, the second witness of the day, said he was told by his boss that he was going to perform at a bachelorette party at the Gramercy Park Hotel, but when he arrived, he saw Cassie in red lingerie and a red wig. He testified she said that they would rub baby oil on each other and would see where things would go from there while her husband was there. Combs was allegedly in a corner in a white robe concealing his face with a bandana, but Phillips said he recognized Diddy's voice. He was paid a few $1,000s when he left. Phillips said this went on more times, meeting up at hotels or their homes, and Diddy would direct them while having sex. Now, a supporter of the alleged victims, Jaguar Wright, spoke out before court this morning.
Oh, God. Oh, God. The clout chasing is at an all-time high. Let me say that again. The clout chasing is at an all-time high.
There's going to be a lot of curveballs. I do believe there's going to be a lot of interesting things. And what I will say is, be vigilant. We're getting started.
Is this a reckoning for the music industry?
Oh, it needs to be. And if it wasn't, I hope my presence starts that.
You know, I was offered an opportunity to interview this girl multiple different times, and I respectfully declined. And people kept telling me, Anton, you need to go and interview Jaguar Wright. Anton, you need to interview Jaguar Wright. And I just don't feel as though I need the views. You know what I'm saying? Like, some views ain't worth it. Some money ain't worth it. Some opportunities ain't worth it. Some interviews ain't worth it. I just don't. You know, some people, in my opinion, are just straight up evil. They rub you the wrong way. It's the spirit that comes along with them. It's the clout chasing. It's the, so, you know, I'm just like, nah, you know, I've had some people that are pretty controversial. I'm going to go ahead and stop at where I'm at. I'm not interested in having a conversation with this woman at all. I can't. I can't at all. I can't.
Now, Phillips also testified that he witnessed Combs assault Cassie in their home and that he feared for his own life, but eventually befriended Cassie. Now, the person to testify before him was the hotel security guard who responded to the incident caught on surveillance video in that Los Angeles hotel back in 2016 when Diddy was caught on video assaulting Cassie. And he testified that Diddy threw a sack of money at him in their hotel room afterwards to keep quiet. That testimony resumes tomorrow with Daniel Phillips, and after that, Cassie Ventura is expected to take the stand. She is the prosecution's star witness. We're live outside the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan. Michelle Ross, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Michelle. And it's fascinating, some of those details inside. We're going to glean more of that in just a little bit. But I want to talk about the circus that is outside as well in New York City, familiar with major high-profile cases as well. Can you set the scene a little bit and describe
I agree, Jody.
some of the environment outside of this courthouse, because there are no cameras inside?
Right. No cameras allowed inside. It's mostly press that's behind me here, but already a line has formed for press and the public to get into the courtroom tomorrow. So I would say there are about maybe 36 people. They have lawn chairs sitting out ready to get in and stay here overnight.
I'm straight.
Oh, wow. That is impressive. Obviously, something we'll continue.
I don't care enough to spend a night on the ground in New York City to try to get into and witness the details of the Diddy case. I just don't care enough.
Continue to file this 8-week-long trial expected to go day one wrapping up. Michelle Ross, I appreciate your time here on Live Now.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. All right, great stuff from Michelle there here on Live Now from Fox. As you can see, some of these sketches from inside of the courtroom, as some of these details are going to be graphic, and that we're warned some of the jurors about this here on Live Now from Fox about all of these details. Let's continue our conversation about this here on Live Now from Fox and bring in to the conversation former federal prosecutor, friend of the program, Nima Rahmani. Nima, thank you so much for joining us here as day one of this trial, wrapping up a federal case accused there of sex trafficking and racketeering. The defense attorney during opening statement said, this Sean Diddy Combs is a complicated man, but this is not a complicated case. Is this a complicated case?
It is a complicated case, Andy, and we've been waiting for this day for a year and a half, and a lot happened today. We got our jury, we got through opening statements, and we're on our second witness. So let's talk about the opening statement. And it's interesting, not necessarily the substance, which I'll get into, but who delivered the opening statement. In a case that's about gender violence, we had two women deliver the opening statement. The prosecution is almost all women, so that's not unexpected. But you had Tony Garagos, Mark Garagos' daughter, who delivered the defense opening statement. And I think you really can see the defense perspective here, and the optics matter. You have a case that's about gender violence, and you have a relatively young attorney, certainly one of the less experienced attorneys on the team. She's certainly well qualified to deliver the opening statement. I think that's important. And one thing that she said, which I think is going to be a theme throughout the case, is obviously consent. We knew that. But a second big theme is the distinction between physical violence and sexual violence. We've all seen the 2016 video of the Intercontinental Hotel. All the jurors have seen that. So the defense had to take a position where they accepted responsibility for the domestic violence, the physical assault and battery. And I think that made sense from both a legal and a credibility perspective. You can't deny that that assault happened. And importantly, Diddy's not charged with assault or domestic violence in this case. Now, it is a potential RICO predicate act. So they may be stepping into those waters. But I think what they're trying to do is draw a line and say, listen, this was a mutually combative relationship, and it was toxic, and there was physical violence. But they're trying to draw the line and say there was no sexual assault and there was no rape.
And I agree 100%. Listen, I know that it's going to be an unpopular opinion. But I've never been one to shy away from telling you exactly what I believe. I believe, and this is just my personal opinion about Diddy, I think he has a sex demon. Yeah. I do. I think that he has a sex demon. I also believe that every single person that was in that room, including the people that are testifying against him, that was hired to come in and bust down his chick, were willing participants, including Cassie. Including, but not limited to, Cassie. I believe that every last one of these people were willing participants when it came to what they were doing and who they were doing it with and whether or not they were participating on the stage with Diddy. I just do. I don't look at Cassie as a victim. I look at her as a willing participant. I don't look at these guys that came in and bust down a chick. I look at with the baby oil. I look at them as a willing participant. I am not going to sit here and say, because, dog, do you know how many people were pining, whining, celebrating, talking about, can't wait to get to a Diddy party, from the rappers that was all sitting there at the Rock Nation brunch to every single person? It seemed like every single chick was talking about the possibility of getting into a Diddy party until charges came out or until Cassie filed a lawsuit. Then it all of a sudden became, man, why would you ever want to go to it? Nigga, you was right there. You was right there. All of these people, and again, I stand on it. I think that Diddy is a nasty, weird, gay, old, zesty man. Cuck. Call every name in the book that you want to call him. But I believe that the people that were participating were willing participants, and they willingly went there. They were not brought in, drugged in against their will, and then did something to them. Bull, you missing me with that. I'm still standing on that. I'm standing on that. Royal Heart said, you still want to go? They used to brag about the Diddy parties. They used to brag about it. They used to brag about it. And then all of a sudden everybody was confused. I didn't know what I was doing. Man, get the hell out of here. You knew what you was doing and you knew what you was getting into. It wasn't no secret. It was the biggest open secret ever. The biggest open secret ever. Wasn't nobody confused. Nobody. Not a girl, not a guy, not anybody. Nobody was confused. It was a zest fest. It was Mocha Fest, matter of fact. It was Mocha Fest on steroids, but with Bad Boy playing in the background. It was Mocha Fest with Bad Boy playing in the background. April Williams making excuses for the ladies. I can see how Cassie became a victim. She was in a 10-album contract. She had 2 houses. She had 2 apartments. She was balling. She had one in New York, one in LA, and she made more money than any of the artists, and she was signed in, and she was calling them her husband. She was at the front court of the Knicks game, and she was enjoying life. What you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm not going there with y'all today. I got to get over there to Jason Whitlock. All right, so I'm about to go over to Jason Whitlock's panel, and we're going to go ahead and have a conversation with him. Let me read some of these super chats, because I still, with all of this testimony that people are talking about, I haven't seen exactly what they is charging him for, what he's did, personally. I haven't seen it. Shout out to Blake. I appreciate you. How do you feel about John Hope Bryan? I think John Hope Bryan, I seen him on the Breakfast Club, and I think I've seen him also on Nightcap. I seen him on Nightcap with Club Shay Shay. I think that John Hope Bryan is good. I think he dope. I think he real dope. Dame Dash says, make sure to hit up the Southern Kitchen and make sure you hit up Southern Kitchen and Richmond, Virginia. What is Southern Kitchen? Is it like a soul food place? Is it that spot? Do I have to worry about anything happening to me? Do I need to make sure that I bring security with me when I go there? Larry Summers says, idiots are mad at Trump, but I'm over here 100% up on NVIDIA. Chips, Tesla, QQQ. Shout out to y'all, all of the ETFs. Broke, shout out, and they mad and they broke, and shout out to all of the chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon, link is in the description. Dev Reddy says, President Trump has made the most opportunity zones I've ever seen, and he want everybody to get rich. Most people don't even understand what an opportunity zone is. Fake friend request says, Google ISO coins and buy them. It will power the new crypto and cash merge in 2025 and 26. Victory Podcast says, Phil and Juju boyfriends, and that's why they mad at you, AD. Hey, let them fight it out. Let them sword fight inside of the let them cock fight inside of the chat. Casual Germ says, if you never been offered money or a cheeseburger to slay vag, you wouldn't understand it's rough out here. David Williams says he in the corner talking about take that. Mr. Lott says, people in NY skip work for the craziest reasons, protesting and trials? Nah, I'm not missing out no bag. You think her testimony will be good or bad after she took the $50 million from Puff? I don't know. She gonna talk about how she was a victim, I'm sure. Jerry, with a couple of super chats, says, Diddy can't traffic anyone that was a willing participant who compromised her morals for fame and money. At that point, it was consensual. I 100% agree. Being a freaky, kinky man isn't illegal. Agreed. Ain't no party like a Diddy party, says LeBron James. Chris Cunningham says, Knicks. Yeah, I feel bad for Jason Tatum. Feel very, very bad for Jason Tatum. Just a brown girl in America says, we know you will make us proud. Don't forget your chef hat. Jason Jocelyn says, come visit Desert Hot Springs, Cali. Is that a city or is it a location? Is it a hot spot? Any place that y'all want to visit, let me know. Your car has sent me, I think, both Cash Apps, so I will send that to y'all shortly. I'm about to head over to Jason Whitlock in order to prepare. We're going to get started in probably like 24, 25 minutes, and then we're going to go from there. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to see y'all on the flip side. Peace.